Hello everyone. Today we are discussing about one of the important topic in our microcontrollers and Internet of Things subject. And the name of the topic or the lesson is Introduction to Arduino. Once you complete this lesson, you may be able to discuss about what is the need of the Arduino and what are the basic details of the Arduino board and what are the different Arduino boards are available in the market and what are the several applications of this Arduino board. So that is you may be able to tell that in which type of the applications we can use these particular types of the Arduino. So now we'll go through the details of our Arduino. So first, as a first point, we should know that why we require this Arduino boards, or we have to know that why we are studying this Arduino as a part of our MC and IoT. Right. So coming to this particular subject, you know that the microcontroller and the internet of the subject is very useful while designing the projects related to the hardware components. So whenever you are designing or whenever you are developing that type of the hardware projects, so in almost all the projects, we need some innovation in the automation concept. Right. So always we are planning to design some projects in which it contains some automation. So now what is automation? Automation is nothing but where there is a less human interaction. So we are developing the project such that it requires minimum effort and which gives maximum output. So to develop this kind of the project, we require some components, and after the several research related to these particular topics, they came up with one component, and the component is nothing but microcontroller. So already we had discussed about the microcontroller in our previous topics. Right. So here by using the microcontrollers, we can provide the automation, and if we have several number of microcontrollers, we have to decide that which microcontrollers can be used to develop this type of the projects. So then the best solution is our Arduino. So now we'll see that what is Arduino. So Arduino is nothing but it is a microcontroller board developed by one company or the corporation which is called as Arduino.cc, and the Arduino is implemented based on one microcontroller, and the name of that microcontroller is Atmega 328 microcontroller. Most of the people will get confused between the two terms, that is microcontroller and Arduino. Right. So to clarify this question, I had drawn one picture. Whereas Arduino is not a simply microcontroller, it is a board in which it contains the microcontroller as a part of it. So along with this microcontroller, even the Arduino board contains some other features like the power supply, reset button, and the provision to connect the input output devices. Like that, so many number of features are there in this Arduino board. But coming to the microcontroller, it is just one IC, or it is a integrated chip which contains the processor on the board. Right. So here even I had specified these points in this particular slide. So here the microcontroller is nothing but it is a just 40-pin chip which contains the built-in microprocessor. But the Arduino is not a simple microcontroller. It is a board which comes along with this microcontroller, and even it contains the bootloader, and it contains the easy access points to connect this input and output devices. And even by using this mode, it is very easy to upload or to burn the program, right? Whereas if you consider a single microcontroller chip, uh, we have to sit and we have to see the we have to make the circuit connections to connect the input devices or to connect the output devices or to learn the to burn the program. It requires some more components. All these things, extra additional components can be required by this microcontroller, but all these features are available in this Arduino board. So even though we are specifying its name as a Arduino, but internally we have to consider this Arduino as a Arduino board. Mainly this Arduino board is designed for designers or who are habituated to develop the electronic projects, and even it can be used by the kids who are interested in creating interactive objects or environments. So already we had seen that Arduino is nothing but it is a board which can be programmed by using a software which is called Arduino IDE, and it is very simple IDE. Anybody can write the program who have the basic knowledge of C or C++, and it is very easy to write the programs and it is very easy to upload that code into the Arduino board, and it is easy to run that particular program, and it is easy to check the outputs of our program. And one of the basic and the main important thing about the Arduino is it is a open source platform. So we have to know that what do you mean by this open source platform. So whenever it is a open source platform in terms of hardware or the software, anybody can easily modify or optimize the hardware components or the software according to their needs. And one more point is, if it is a open source platform, the softwares and the boards are readily available, and here we can buy the hardware and there is no need to buy the software. Since it is a open source software, directly we can install that software into our system. So only the thing is we should buy the available Arduino boards. So because of this particular feature, most of the designers are using this Arduino for their projects. And these Arduino boards are developed by these two persons. One is Massimo Banji and another one is David. So these two persons plays very important role in the developing of this Arduino board. So now we'll see that what is the main concept behind this Arduino boards. So already we know that the Arduino boards contains the microcontroller which performs most of the operations. So before explaining this particular point, we'll see one example related to this Arduino applications. This is one of the example related to the street light monitoring system. Nowadays, most of the cities are using this street light monitoring system. So here already I told that mainly these microcontrollers or the Arduino are intended for the automation. So here no one will not be there to turn on or to turn off the street lights. Right, so automatically the street lights has to be switched on and switched off based on this sunlight. Right, so here the Arduino is connected to some sensors, and here we are using one sensor such as LDR, light dependent resistor. So this LDR or the sensor will give some values. Based on that values, this controller will decide that either the street lights can be goes to the off state or whether the street lights can be goes to the on state. So once this sunlight is kept on this LDR, this Arduino will read the particular values from this LDR, and if it is a daytime, then there is no need to switch on the street light. So automatically the street lights will be goes to the off state. So once this is a night, so where there is a less sunlight, then automatically this street lights will be goes to the on state. So here the off state and on state will be controlled by using our microcontrollers such as this Arduino boards. So here the inputs are the sensor values, and this Arduino will decide that based on this sensor values it will controls whether it has to switch off this light or switch on this light. So this is one of the simple example of our microcontrollers. So based on that example, we will tell that Arduino boards are able to read the inputs. So just now we had seen we are reading the values from the sensor such as LDR, and based on these values it performs the operations, and based on that operations it will control this outputs. So the examples of the outputs are somewhat activating the monitor, activating the motor, or turning the LED, pushing something into the pushing something messages into our mobile. All these are nothing but the outputs. So here mainly we have to know that these Arduino boards are the microcontroller boards in which it accepts the inputs, it processes some operations, and based on that operations it controls the outputs. That is the main concept behind this Arduino boards. And here we can tell the board what to do by reading that sensor values, and all those things controls can be done by writing the program. So now we have to write on the program. After reading this particular sensor values, what other operations can be performed under sensor values. So so how to control your outputs based on that sensor values. So all these things can be done by writing a program by using this Arduino IDE. So what are the main key features of this Arduino? So the first point is related to the expensive or cost of the hardware. So here the Arduino welcomes with so many number of features. So that means only a simple USB cable is enough to upload the program. So there is no need to require any additional components to burn the program, and here the Arduino will comes along with so many features where we can easily interconnect the input and output devices. So based on these features we can tell that it is a inexpensive hardware. Right. The next one, Arduino board itself is used as a programmer. Here, just by installing the Arduino IDE and by using the basic or the minimum knowledge of C and C++, we can easily write down the program. So it is also one of the important feature where by using this Arduino IDE, it is very easy to write down the programs for the Arduino, which can be useful for our designs, and it can be used as a multi-platform environment. So the same program can be run in any operating systems. And one of the important point is already we had discussed, it is a open source and the extensible software and hardware. So because of all these features, nowadays we are concentrating more on this Arduino to develop the projects. And the Arduino can comes into the in many variations, and some of the variations I'm showing here. So this is nothing but the Arduino Uno, which we are using in our lab to do the experiments on this MC and IoT. And one more variation is Arduino Leonardo board and Arduino Lilypad. This Arduino Lilypad is mainly used to develop the projects by using the cloths or by using some wearable products, and this is Arduino Mega, and this is Arduino Nano, Arduino Mini, Mini Pro, and this is Arduino VT. So various